binoculars are a vital tool to have with you when you're observing subjects from a distance, whether it's for things like sports, events, or for my personal favourite, nature walks like this. Now, the big problem with traditional binoculars is that they can be difficult to keep steady, especially if you've got high magnification binoculars, and over a long period of time that can become quite tiring. But these binoculars could fix that problem. So what makes this pair of binoculars special is that they're stabilized. This is very similar to the stabilization technology you may have seen in Nikon lenses, but in binoculars it helps to minimize the vibrations you put into the binocular from your hands. So that stabilization just makes it much easier to keep the binoculars steady when using them for an extended period of time. And especially if you've got a higher magnification binocular, it means that you can just compensate for those small movements, meaning that you can view the subject much easier. Now, I just want to talk you through some of the technical details of these binoculars, and first of all, they're available in two different sizes. So you have access to a 12 by 25, which is the pair I have here, and then you also have a 10 by 25, which on the outside are identical apart from their different measurements. So that 10 times or 12 times zoom is going to come down to if you're observing subjects that are a little bit further away with the 12 times, or you might find that 10 times is more suitable for you. Both of these sets of binoculars operate a fold-up design, so they can be neatly packed into a pocket or into a backpack. Even with all of the stabilization technology built into these binoculars, they only weigh 395 grams, which again adds into that idea of using these binoculars all day without having fatigue. Not only are you relying on the stabilization to keep them nice and steady, but also just being small and lightweight makes them much easier to use throughout the entirety of the day. When it comes to powering the stabilization in these binoculars, they will run off 2 AA batteries. Those batteries will fit in the underside of the binocular, and they'll give you up to 12 hours worth of battery life. And a feature that I really like to help preserve that battery life even further is that the binoculars will shut off automatically after 60 minutes of not being used. So even if you forget to turn the stabilization off, the binoculars will do that for you. The stabilization on these binoculars is pretty incredible, and it is often difficult for me to try and show you how good the stabilization is. But to put it into numbers, the stabilization can remove vibrations in the binoculars by up to 80%. And that makes a massive difference if you're trying to track or follow, or even if you're just observing a subject over an extended period of time, and especially when using the 12 times binocular as well. So it's been great using these stabilized binoculars here on this local lake for a nature walk, but I'd really like to take you to some locations where the stabilization really comes alive. A location like this is also great for stabilized binoculars, and especially on a windy day like today, if I'm surveying the coastline, looking for seabirds or looking for boats, it means that I can just keep that subject a little bit more stable in my binoculars. Or even when you're on a boat, whether you're observing wildlife or enjoying the sights, a pair of stabilized binoculars can be incredibly useful. I hope you've enjoyed this first look at these new Nikon stabilized binoculars. They've definitely been useful for me over the past few days, and just seeing how they work has been a real eye-opener. I've never used stabilized binoculars before, so being nice and small and compact, they're definitely something I'll consider taking in my camera bag when I'm out and about.